Okay, we are back. So, haven't spoken, feels like forever, since I guess Erev Shavuos last week. So, we have challenge like we have in a couple years in the past. We have two parshas. We have Naso, we have people in America, we have Beha'alotecha, people here in Eretz Yisrael. So, your Kesher, let's just try to see if we can kind of put these pieces together. And with some ideas from the Menorah of Nachem of Chernobyl. So, the question is really sometimes we feel like maybe our life is in two buckets. We have Torah, Tefillah life, we have a family life, then we have work, getting to work. A lot of different buckets we have. There's errands, there's commuting, there's noise, and a lot of times we kind of feel that it's fragmented. There's different things going on there. And Moranayim, we'll get in a second, has ideas really that's the problem. There's no real split. Everything's really one. It's really one. Everything should be really focused and pointing to Hashem, pointing to the Torah. So first start with the idea that mitzvos are advice, eitzos. So either it's ways to tzivsa, mitzvahs to connect to Hashem, but also it's eitzos, advice. These are 613, a guidebook, how to get close to Hashem. There's 613 lessons, how to be close to Hashem, and which makes sense. You think about it. If I can't do paraduma, don't learn about it. If I can't do shchita, I shouldn't learn about it. You know, egla rufa, I shouldn't learn about it. Shkolim. Then the answer is, yeah, the external part would be great to do. Mashiach comes, will be great to do these mitzvos, but without it, there's still lessons. There's still the machshava behind it, and there's still ways to connect to Hashem by learning it and doing some kind of action that kind of mirrors it. We can't do leket for most of us, but tzedakah we could do. Um, Egla rufa we don't do, but there's ways to have people over, have me welcome people in shul. There's things to do, and that gets close to Hashem. These are advice. This is advice, and each 613 different piece of advice. Now back in Naso, the Nasiim, striking what takes place here. You have 12 Shvatim, 12 Nasiim, exactly the same. Exactly the same. And the Torah is going to spend going over and over and over. And at the end of it, it's going to repeat it. Oh, this is the total. Oh my gosh, we could have been out 20 minutes ago if we didn't just say one. Everyone did that. Shalom Yisrael, let's say Kaddish, we have Torah, and we're out the door. No, 12 times. Why? Because the Medrash says or the actions were the same, the machshava of each nasi was different. Ruvain had a machshava, why it's parachad, why it's keves echad, why it's mizrak echad, why it's solas, and Shimon had his idea. So each action was the same, but each machshava and the thought behind it was very different. And this is really what the purpose is. Hashem is not really counting karbanos. Hashem sees 12 different shvatim trying to be close to Hashem. I give tzedakah is different than someone else gives tzedakah. I learn Torah. I have mezuzah. Someone has a different machshava. It's the same parchment. The tefillin look almost the same, but what I put into it is different than what the next guy puts into it. Very different. The action's the same. Machshava is really different. And this is what the Menorah talks about really in this parsha. Someone who has a munah ties everything together. If you did your work in this world, Bamuna and Kavaya Itim Torah, there's a bunch of questions we get asked at 120. Kavaya Itim Torah. The Menorah says, if you have a Muna and Hashem, then Itim Torah. Your 24 hours a day is for Torah. And this is like a powerful idea. I always thought, oh, Kavaya Itim Torah. I learned Gemara for an hour in the morning with Daf Yomi. That's my Itim. I learned Hasidus in the afternoon. Okay, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I have a Lach in the morning. I do Rambam. No. Moranayim says if you have a munah, if you believe Hashem's everywhere, Hashem's on the subway, Hashem is at work, Hashem makes sure that you're not freaking out at work. You have to remember Hashem is there, and Hashem is with you when you're with your family, and you have to. Those are holy moments too. And walking to shul, that's a holy moment, and leaving the shul, that's a holy moment as well. If you really believe that, then you set all your times for Torah. And this is really what the important one. Errands is you're in front of Hashem, and your actions are different. If you believe Hashem is there, if you have a munah that Hashem is right there, You're not gonna flip the bird to the guy who cuts you off going to the old city. Not that I did that. You're not gonna yell at the guy who has his cart there and is taking up space and is really slow. You're not gonna freak out because Hashem is there. How do I act in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu? I'm just not going to melt down. One of your workers does something really stupid and gets you a little bit in trouble at work. How to resolve it without kind of using our special words in French? Hashem is there. How do we do this? This way, everything is the same, and that's really how we get to Baloscha. Um, Baloscha, Moranim says there's seven. Obviously, there's seven branches. Each day of the week, you may have binyan, the days of the week. And all our days have to be focused to the middle. All our days are focused to the middle one, to the Shabbos one, to the one that faces Hashem. But that's kind of what we're trying to do. And the advice is when you do your lighting, regular actions, have it geared to Hashem, whatever it is. A rough day at work, a rough drive, whatever it is, have that geared because it's all facing Hashem. That's kind of what we're doing here. It's all one thing. There's you know, the wax and the flame. It's two pieces. They work together. The chomer, the physical part of ourselves, is attached to the neshama, the spiritual side of us. And this is what we're trying to do: is have everything go together. And this Aaron, Aaron stands for shalom, togetherness, wholesome. Aaron's the one who's tasked with the avoda because he's the full picture. Aaron is road of shalom with people. You can go into Coach Kadashim, speak to Hashem, speak to God one on one. That's Aaron. Aaron is totally focused together. And this is kind of what the tie-in with Naso, I believe, with Baloscha. Naso, we have people that are away. We have the Sota who's facing the other way, who's going the other way. We have the Nazir who's also looking at other things, not geared, and he takes things on himself to kind of put him back to center. I have a weakness here. Let me get rid of wine. Let me get rid of things. Let me recalibrate myself. And the Sota also. Sota is warned. We want her to kind of, go up back on the right path. And this is what takes place. We have Berks Kohanim at the end. Again, Shalom, togetherness. And that starts off really Baloscha. Baloscha is when Aaron says, you have lighting the narrows, go up to Shemaim, facing the middle. Our actions should be, again, calibrated to Hashem. The problem was, in Baloscha, is the first part of the parsha is fantastic. You have Levium, Chatzotros, we're traveling. People were freaking out because they couldn't do Pesach Sheni. Wow, these people are so upset they couldn't do a mitzvah. I mean, how many times we get upset? You know, there's no minyan shul. We're down by ourselves. We don't get totally bent out of shape. There's no poor people. All right, I'll give to the next day. But they're so bent out of shape that they're freaking out that they can't do Pesach Sheni. Halavai, we should we should be like that. So Velosko, we're fantastic and things are great. And Moshe says to Yisro, we're going to Eretz Yisrael. And all of a sudden, complaining, Vahibin Soa, Misavim, and then Jewish history is just it's different. As we had that long essay from Rav Soloveitchik, which I spoke about it every year, and I spoke about it this year at 4 in the morning. It wasn't enough to keep people awake. I inspire people to learn better. I inspire people, I think, to go to sleep. We had some snoring. Snoring was louder than me at the end of the night. It's not easy to talk at 4 in the morning. Shavuos morning, but either way, our march to Eretz Yisrael, but they get stopped. They're complaining about the travel. Oh my gosh, 3 days. They're complaining. And then Misav, they wanted food. They wanted this. They wanted meat. And again, they had meat. They had bread. They had this stuff. And again, they lost this connection. That's really what took place. They lost this connection. We go from Jews that are calibrated to go to Yisrael, but they lose it. And what's the loss? Vayisum Hashem. They left from Har Sinai. It's not a coincidence that Mison and Misavim leaving Har Sinai, going away from the Torah. It's not just a happenstance. That's the truth. When you leave your north, you leave your focus, things just go south on you. Let's be honest. If you are truly enjoying Torah, truly enjoying Hashem and what Hashem gives you, you're not going to be crying that you want an extra steak. You have. And the Jews they had slav, they had the mun, they wanted more. If you really believe that everything is geared, everything's from Hashem, and you're connected to the Torah, Oh my gosh, 3 days on the road, this is too much. You go in Eretz Yisrael. Torah was too much for them. If you believe the Torah is a burden and there's no sweetness of Torah, then you know what? They're running away from Har Sinai. Oh my gosh, we gotta get out of here. There's too much of this. We gotta run. And when you're running away from the Torah, life is difficult. Work is a burden. I want more. I want new things. The neighbor has this. The food's got to be better. My vacation, I need better. Not that you can't go on vacation if you're a Torah person. You should go on vacation. But there's complaining on vacation. Oh my gosh, only one type of mojito. This is terrible. Hello, you hear yourself? You got to Yisrael. You're on the plane. You're about to land. Oh my gosh, it's crowded and it's so hot and the lines for custom. You know what? You came to Eretz Yisrael. You're not going to the Bahamas. You came to Eretz Yisrael. You have a spiritual, and a physical enjoyment, but you have a physical time. You're freaking out that it's a little hot. I mean, you got to calibrate yourself. If you really believe, if you're connected to Hashem and to Torah, and Torah is sweet and there's a connection here, other things just aren't that important. And that's kind of that. Again, speaking for people out there, myself, we all go to restaurants, we all like a good steak once in a while, things like that. But if you don't have the sweetness of Torah, then you're chasing that, and that's your ikr as opposed to your tafel. And this is what Kliyot really talks about of the lesson of 40 years and the midbar for the mun. The people didn't hop in the first year, as obviously they had the mun, they had the slav, they had their own animals, but they still wanted more. That means that they weren't satisfied from Torah. And this is the Kliyakars talks about 40 years of the mid of the mun. Because now we don't have it yet. I don't kill the surprise, but they're going to be 40 years in the middle, by the way, for those who don't know. Sorry to kill the surprise. And 40 years, they're eating the mun to tell us his stavkas, to tell us that what just enough is good enough. Because if you really believe what Hashem gives you is enough, then you're not going to be wanting more. You have what is there, and that comes with learning Torah. It comes with being connected to Hashem. And when you can connect everything in your life to Hashem, everything is exactly what you have, what you need, then Torah is your ikr. Everything else is just not crazy, crazy important. And you can really enjoy the sweetness of Torah. As I said to this young man who I recorded made Aliyah a couple of days ago, he's going to work the night shift here. And he said, yeah, you live in Nation, oh, you live in Beit Shemesh area, in Beit Shamir. Very important. Two things. Get yourself a good bicycle because you're right next to the trails to go biking. I just came back from a bike run. I go, get yourself a bicycle and find yourself a good kollel because people work the night shift. You have a good chunk of the day to get into Torah. And I'm envious of this kid who made Aliyah. Maybe he's 25, 27. I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's 30. But you make Aliyah and you can work the night shift and you have time to kind of find a kollel, find a chabura, find a place you can really enjoy life. Again, in America, you got to work the days, so you got to find a place to learn at night. But that's the sweetness of Torah, and you find the sweetness of Torah. Everything is connected to Torah, and chasing the extra things kind of just really is not crazy important. The importance becomes Torah connected to Hashem. And with that, Shabbat Shalom.